and we're going to go on.
I think we're live.
Great.
We're going to Facebook now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Finance Agents Live, episode number 58. Today is what happens on a funding consultation. This is Tim MC. I'm joined by Trey Sublette. More funding consultations than anybody else at this company ever. He's racked them up over the years. And today, over the years, Trey has developed his system on what needs to happen on every funding consultation. And since we've been doing the Will It Fund series over the last month, where you've seen lots of little videos where we've reenacted actual funding consultations, and we've been attempting to follow his steps, today we're going to be going through the steps so you know what they are, and then you're going to get to see some fun outtakes where we screw it up or nail it, depending. I don't even know. We're going to find out. So how did you come up with these 10 steps?
At the end of the day, there's so many things you have to accomplish in the first call with a potential client. So you got to have some sort of structure, format to make sure you're achieving what you want to achieve. And so not every call is different, right? If you're talking about someone with real estate projects or business, starting a business, existing business. So every conversation you have is going to be unique.
You never know where it's going to take you. I've gone some weird places on some
so it's really hard to hit all 10 of these, but at least you can get 7 or 8. It's going to accomplish your goal of creating rapport, building credibility, being thorough, and understanding their scenario.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, let's get into it and talk about the 10 steps. First step, number 1, the greeting.
Greeting.
What is a proper greeting, and what does that even mean? Like, how's the phone rings, somebody says hello. What should a good funding consultant say?
First thing, this is one of my things, assume the person who answers is the person you're calling. What would happen if I call and, hey, is this Tim? It makes you feel like,
yes, the debt collector. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be Tim. So I like to assume,
He's in the shower.
Assume the person who answers is the person you're calling. You want to be clear and concise. You want to definitely be upbeat, not be low energy. But this is your first impression with that person.
So if you are calling Tim, you're going to say, hey, Tim. This is Trey. What would you say exactly?
I'm sorry. This is Trey. Yeah.
No. So I'm saying you're the funding consultant.
Okay.
So phone rings. Hello.
Hello, Tim.
Yeah.
Hi, Tim. My name's Trey Sublette. I'm with Finance Agents. How you doing today?
Okay. Doing well. All right. So that's the best way to. So how do people screw that up?
They
what do people do wrong?
Maybe don't say the name properly if you don't know how to pronounce the first name.
Man, there's some weird names.
Right.
How do you do that? Because I've seen some.
And so you got to put some thought to before you make the call, right?
Recently, didn't you have a new member office name? All right, but yeah, what do you do? I mean, you don't. I don't want to pick on a specific race, but when you get non-American, non-English, traditional English names, what do you do?
Use their last name. Try to say, hey, Mrs. Jones or Mr. Williams. So try to.
Okay.
If you can't pronounce the first name, go to the last name.
All right, and if neither one is, you just apologize in advance.
That's correct.
I'm sorry.
It's best to apologize and have them pronounce it the proper way, and so you don't mess it up moving forward.
For some names, you can actually use Google Translate, and it'll actually say it for you. So you actually have a better shot to be able to get that.
There you go. There's a handy tip. All right, so that's the greeting. You start off by assuming it's them.
Right.
And then what do you do next?
Great. Well,
so step 1, boom. That's easy.
One,
These are quick steps.
Right.
Quick, easy.
Referral source. So as I've started my conversation, I want to say, why are you calling them? How do you get to me? So how did the leads information get to myself? So you want to mention the referral. Hey, listen, you were referred to me by Marcy Green. Or mention the website that referred you. So they should understand why are you calling them and who referred you to them.
Now that's interesting because with our member offices that are getting leads from agents, some agents are marketing on Facebook and they never would know the agent's name. Some agents are having conversations with a member office that could come from different websites, and how do you even know if they've even talked to the person? Do you mention the website they came through and the member office that came through and the sales rep that they talked to?
It can be confusing. So sometimes you are doing business development, so it's all about knowing the referring party. Maybe they market online, and so they're not going to know that person's name. So therefore, you mention the website. Or you can say, hey, you recently inquired about funding for your small business through XYZ website.
Yeah, I've seen people where they filled in a lead form at Lantera, got called 5 minutes later, and didn't remember Lantera.
Right.
So there's that. But anyway, hi, John. I'm Trey. I got your information from fundingunited.com.
There we go.
And then what?
Now you want to.
So that's step 2.
Step 2.
Step 3.
Now you want to confirm it's a good time to talk. So confirmation that they have some time to spend about 10 minutes talking about their project or business scenario. So is this a good time to speak about XYZ Corporation? So you want to make sure you haven't caught them. We're business owners, right? We're busy, and so business owners are busy, and so you want to make sure you have their full attention. They're not in the grocery store, not about to walk into a movie. So I rather calendar it out if they don't have time to speak right now. Put it on my calendar for later in the day or tomorrow, then kind of rush through it.
Yeah, I don't even like answering the phone anymore. There's so many phone calls. So I get it. So how do you say that? Give me the exact setting.
Hey Tim, do you have time? Is this a good time for you to spend about 10 minutes talking about your business needs?
And do you get into saying you can't be in your car, or
no?
Do you need to be at a computer?
Say, hey, I know you're probably busy at this point in time, but if it's more convenient to talk later on today or tomorrow, let's set up that consultation.
And that's when they say, no, I need money now.
That's right.
All right. Okay, cool. So it looks like we have an example video coming
23. Go.
All right, what are we doing here?
Ring, ring.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Hello, I am looking for John. This is John, right?
This is John.
John, Tim here from Finance Agents.
Hey, Tim.
How are you doing today? I was referred to you by Sally at Sallyport Financial.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know Sally.
Okay, yeah, she said you were awesome and looking for money for, and she didn't say what. What are you looking for?
Well, I got a couple minutes to talk right now, so let's go. Let's go now.
Okay.
All right, so what did I screw up on that one? Just about everything. First of all, I didn't start by saying the person's name. I remembered it after the fact. I sort of threw it in there, but I didn't say the name directly, one. I did say who I was, I think, and then I slowly remembered
Sally.
Sally and Sallyport.
Right.
And then I forgot to ask if it was a good time to talk. Right. So I'm batting 0. Right?
So it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to be able to. I was okay. Like, yeah, I got time to talk. So, but all this happens really short and quick. And this is the first 10 to 20 seconds in the call.
Right.
So,
yeah. So you didn't hang up on me.
Didn't hang up.
I won you over with my sexy voice.
One of the issues, some people will try to get you off the phone by saying, I'm a little busy right now, call me another time. Well, at that point in time, you want to schedule it out, firm up a day and time that they're going to be able to spend a couple minutes talking about their real estate needs or business needs. So I'd love to calendar things out.
Now, by the way, when somebody says that, hey, I'm busy right now, can we talk later, call me later, and they want to hang up, to me that doesn't always sound like a great lead. So if you're going to schedule it out, are you doing probing questions to see if they're really interested, or are you just assuming they are interested and then they'll tell you if they aren't?
I'm not really doing probing questions because I don't want to irritate them. If they say, I can't really talk right now, I just want to, the only questions I want to pose is, okay, what would be a good time? Make them think. And therefore, obviously we're sending out emails to confirm those times, reminders. It's all about, you're very important, it's all important about speed to contact.
Right.
Getting a hold of these people is tough sometimes, so when you do get them on the phone, you want to take advantage of that, but it can go sideways fast if they're not going to give you their full attention.
Right. Okay, great. Awesome. So we did that. We have the referral source. You're going to say who you are. You confirm the time. If that's for later, you confirm the time later. We say 10 minutes. They don't need to be in front of a computer. You just 10 minutes. They could be driving. Right. You're cool with that.
Right.
All right. And then we go into step 4. What's step 4?
Step 4 is basically review their scenario. So this is where you're going to let them talk about them. And so let them tell you about what they're trying to accomplish in either starting a business, growing their business, or a real estate project, and then you have to listen.
So how do you ask for that? Do you have any particular things, or is it different every time?
Sure, John. Hey, tell me about what you're trying to accomplish right now.
Okay.
Very simple.
Now, I've been on the phone with clients who then want to go into a 2-hour scenario description of about how amazing they are, about how they're going to invent the next sliced bread. How soon do you start cutting them off if they're going for it?
Sure. I mean, it's a really good question. Your time's your biggest asset. So at some point in time, you're going to naturally feel like, okay, this is getting a little bit too long. So therefore, you start infusing your own questions. And that could be follow-up questions. They could be telling you about a certain piece of property. Start using those questions about the value, how long they owned it, what they owe. But you got to use questions to navigate the course and cut them off at some point. You can't spend 30 minutes to an hour letting someone just talk,
right.
on.
There's a lot of people that will chew up your time, and one of the things I tell our member offices and our loan officers is that your time is your investment, And while every lead is important, every person is important that you talk to, at the same point, if you spend a bunch of time talking to people that you can't help, I tell our people to literally think of it as these people are stealing your money.
Right.
Because your time is your money, and if you're spending a half an hour talking to somebody you definitely can't help, there's 3 other people you could have spoken with that you maybe could help, and you now can't help them, and you're losing money because of it. So you literally have the attitude, because some people feel bad. I feel bad letting somebody go. Don't feel bad. Realize they are stealing your money to tell them how good they are. They're trying to tell you how good they are to convince you. But you can't go to the bank and just talk about how awesome somebody is. It's not going to change the fact that if they have a bankruptcy, they have no assets, if they have no business revenue, there's nothing you can do from. No amount of talking is going to change that. Okay, great. I think we got another video coming up here. Let's let it roll.
Oh, it's A-Rod.
Deal number 19.
This is your moire fixture.
Hello, Josh.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, Josh. This is Libby. How are you today?
I'm good, Libby. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I got a referral here from Derek saying that you were looking for business funding. Is that right?
Yes.
Good, good. So is now a good time to talk?
I have a couple minutes, sure.
Couple minutes. Okay. Tell me about your situation and what you're looking to do.
Well, I'm trying to buy a franchise.
A franchise. Oh, great. What franchise?
Juice It Up.
Juice It Up. Okay,
Follow-up
good.
question.
And where is it?
It's here in Oceanside.
Oceanside. Okay. Do you have a location?
We're
really good
navigating those waters right now, so not
Dig
yet.
it in.
Okay. And where are you in the franchise process? Have you put down a deposit, or have you done your discovery day?
We've done our discovery day.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So we're kind of into it now. Now it's time to get serious and make sure we have the capital.
Okay. And how much do you have to put into the investment?
Well, it's me and a partner.
Okay.
So I currently own a couple different wiener schnitzels. One of the things
I
I
should
have
be
a
doing
couple
is
businesses
taking notes.
already.
Okay.
So I'm trying to
She
diversify.
should be.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
and those
as a
are in
consultant,
their
be taking
own
notes
LLC,
on-
or are they with the same partner?
This would be totally separate. It's just the wiener schnitzels are mine, and the partner will be part of the Juice It Up.
Okay. And how is your credit and your partner's credit?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
There was that. Was there a specific thing? Let's just go through it.
She never asked about how much they needed.
How much money you need. All right.
So how much do you have to put in, but not how much you needed.
Okay, but let's go through this. She, I think, said it right. Like, I don't know if she asked who you were, but I don't remember. But she said who she was. She said where they came from, and she started asking about the scenario. She immediately dug in and started asking follow-up questions. So I would say those were all correct. Now, one of your steps ask how much money they need? I didn't see that as one of the steps.
Definitely. And so it comes down, it gets to the point, but at that point you're trying to let them just talk what's important to them, their past experiences, so you're just gathering intel. So we've almost gotten to that point as far as asking questions. Now she kind of jumped in, asked some very pertinent questions, but it's a little bit further into the process. So we're about to get there.
Okay, all right, so that was review the scenario. Then you get into the actual consultation process where you're starting to get into different programs.
So now, hey, great, Tim, for sharing what you're trying to accomplish at this point in time. So kind of give you an idea, for any of the programs we have, we're pretty diverse. So you want to describe the portfolio you have at your disposal. So I want to make sure people understand that we work with traditional funding, equipment financing, commercial real estate, everything that we have as far as possible solutions for them and what they're trying to do.
So you spend time describing all the different programs?
No, I just want to just touch base. Hey, we work with SBAs, equipment financing, 401k rollover, so I don't describe anything. The idea is to make sure they have a clear idea that you have a pretty diverse portfolio of solutions to help explore for them. And this is building credibility. At the same time, we're working for free on their behalf at this point in time, right?
Right.
So we're not invoicing them anything whatsoever over the next couple of conversations, so they need to understand the value of your efforts at this point in time.
All right, so you're peacocking, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, showing off all the letters.
There we go. I like that, peacock.
All right, so that's how we get into the consultation process.
Plus, we should mention people are scared to submit their information. They won't be shopping around. So they understand we're just doing an internal review only at this point in time to provide clarity if this is going to be a proper solution or not.
Yeah, one of the things I told our loan officers over the years is that the better credit scenario somebody has or the better borrower they are, the more reticent they're going to be to giving you their information because they're careful, and that's why they have better credit. And they don't want to work with just anybody, so you need to demonstrate why somebody wants to work with you. What are some of the other things that you say that demonstrate that somebody should work with us to build credibility? One is talk about the different programs. Do you say anything else? Do you talk about how much funding we've done or how long you've been doing it? Or
really kind of, I think more towards the stories is more towards the back end of the consultation process. Right now, you're still trying to spend as little time as possible with this individual, a good 15, 20 minutes at most, but that's a little bit further down the road.
Okay, great. All right, so that was step 5.
Yep.
Now we're getting, what's the next step?
Step 6. All right, step 6 is now we're getting into those questions. Now you kind of have an idea of a little bit what they're trying to do, but now you're going to go into either the business or real estate pertinent questions to really kind of dig in. And then,
so it's 2 branches,
right?
Either business or real estate. Right. You're going to go a different direction.
We're going to have business or real estate at this point in time. And so if it's business, if they're trying to start a business or have an existing business, you're going to go into certain questions like revenue, how long they've been in business, ownership percentage, and so on.
Okay, great. And then those can lead into all sorts of follow-up questions. On the other side, real estate questions. What are some of the ones that you like to ask?
Sure. What's their target property? Or is it commercial, residential, location, value? What's their experience? Is it income producing? How much they have to bring to the table? So at the end of the day, we're trying to really understand, wrap our head around what their main goals would be and what they have to utilize.
Okay, all right. So that is, are those 2 different steps, the business or real estate?
No,
it's just one.
Step 6 is either or. So
one way or another.
Yeah, either one.
Okay. All right, I think we have a video coming up.
Great, here we go.
Ready?
Oh, it's the yellow,
this is
yellow
the
boys.
yellow shirt day.
I'm ready.
Will it fun? Take 2.
Like
Will
Easter.
it fun?
It's
Deal
fun
fun. 16. Take 2.
This is Trey. How can I help you?
You can help me. My name is David, and I'm looking to borrow some money against a commercial building that I own.
Great. All right, David. I'm more happy to help. Where's the building at?
Costa Mesa, California.
Costa Mesa. Very nice. Very nice. And it's a commercial building, as you said, right?
It's a trampoline park for kids, and sometimes adults come, and gymnastic people train there as well, too.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
About 8 years.
8 years? Okay. And do you have any partners? Yourself?
My wife.
Your wife. Okay. Family business. Very nice.
Staring you down.
How much funding are you looking for?
I need to net out about $250,000 in cash.
$250,000 in cash. Okay. And how's your personal credit?
Great.
Great. All right. As far as the commercial building, what's the current value, do you think?
$1.5 million.
$1.5 million? All right. And what do you owe?
I owe about $850,000 to $875,000.
Okay. And this is the first, no second?
No second.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I tell you what, we can definitely, let's explore. I would need an application and pictures of the property. Do you have pictures?
Sure.
I will need internal and external pictures of the property, and we have some input on within 24 hours.
Okay, you had a lot more fun with the counting than the actual scenario.
So this is kind of tough because we're trying not to give away the right program in this exercise. So it's a little bit different. Kind of going over. I've been more detailed.
You would have asked more questions
correct.
if we we're trying to create a short
Right.
scenario clip. Okay.
But with this, it does show I'm trying to do the math. I'm trying to find out the value, what's owed, the type of property, because knowing the guidelines of our commercial real estate division, I'm just trying to make sure if that's going to be a good fit or not.
Now, is this part of that's part of the business or real estate credit? That's part of that was a step 6 example. Once you get through that, then you get into asking personal questions. So you start with the business or real estate.
Yes.
Let's understand that part of the scenario.
Right.
Then you get into personal questions like, what's your sign?
Right, and so I definitely
do you
believe.
want to go out Friday?
Yeah. I
Do you
definitely
like
believe,
long walks on the beach?
There we go. I
coladas?
definitely believe you do personal secondary after
Really?
either real estate or
Okay.
business, because you're really focused on that. Either one of those two things you're focused more highly on. The personal is secondary.
And they're more likely to answer the business questions
Sure.
because they have no reason to not tell you what your business income was. When you start asking about personal credit, maybe they get a little dicey.
Right. So you're
Maybe
getting
they
an idea
lie.
of the personal credit, and then if they don't have the best credit in the world, go into what's holding it down. Go into their experience, their income, what type of collateral they have, retirement assets, stocks. So all these questions have a purpose, and so the answers they're giving is going to help you, determine what program you're going to go after or programs.
How often do people tell you they have 100 grand in stocks and bonds? Because I don't get that one much. That one seems to be the least.
It's rare.
All right, so business and real estate questions, then you get into the personal questions, then you segue into what?
Now we're going, and now you should have a good idea of the best solution to explore.
Right.
This is after going through the training, all the different programs and processes we have here. But now it's all about the target program and why.
Okay.
So if I feel like the best is going to be a revenue-based advance, I'm going to make sure they understand the reasons why, because maybe the low credit, they have good, strong revenue, so they need to understand why you're targeting a particular program.
So now what you're doing is you're starting to tell them about the program you think they're going to qualify for, and starting to set the expectation on the types of rates and terms and funding that's going to be available should they be approved. And you let them know that this is based on the information they send in, and it could be better or worse. What are some of the ways you do that?
The best thing is you're correct. You're basically setting the right expectations. You don't go into too much detail, but they need to understand why you're going down this path. So if it's for commercial real estate, they should have a good understanding of, rate, term, instead of blindsided if we come back down the road and something they don't expect. So if you get someone pre-approved, they should be on board from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think you need that most with like business working capital loans because they're very short term and very high rates.
Right.
If somebody comes in expecting to get a 7-year SBA loan at 7%, and you go back and say, hey, we talked about 7 years, but it looks like we got 7 months payback, it's very different. So you want to set that expectation in advance.
Right. So if we're targeting the business term loan division, they understand that it's going to be, you got to have good credit, collateral, experience, and time to navigate the process. So they understand going into this, that's not going to happen really super quick.
Now, most people come in knowing exactly what they're going to qualify for, right?
No, not really. I mean, yeah. So I'm big against being an order taker. We're not order takers. You got to sometimes guide the individuals. We're the experts, right?
Right. So. Now, I'd like to say this, and people find it's weird, but early on in the conversation, we ask people what you want, what are you trying to accomplish, how much money do you need? And that's great, and I hear it, and then I try to almost completely forget it, and then figure out what they actually qualify for, and then you try to bridge that gap. I can't tell you how many people have come and said, I need $1 million, and I said, well, I can get you 50 grand, and they said, I'll take it, right? It's definitely different than what they asked for. The program where I see it's the hardest to do this is real estate. Somebody says, I need $1 million in real estate. See, a lot of times, you think, well, we can only get them a couple $100 grand, so I don't even let's just turn it down. But if you ever get a decline, if you submit something to us and you get a decline, don't be afraid to ask what would they qualify for to make sure that you're getting we always want to issue an offer if there's an offer to be made, even if it's completely different than what they want, because you never know, and it might actually help them achieve their goal.
It's EPC, Explore, Present, Consult. Explore all possible options, present them, even denials, and then consult. Guide them the right way.
Great. Awesome. So now you prepped them for what it is that we think they could qualify for. What comes next?
So you've kind of conveyed what we're trying to go for, the target program, and now you need to let them understand what is needed to do an internal review. So you lightly mention the documents they need for review. So if it's for commercial real estate, mentioning the CRE application, use of funds document, and pictures of the property. So you want to explain the process of getting a credit report. So if the program requires getting a credit report, explain the options of either using creditkarma.com or Credit Check Total and so on. So I want to make sure they understand that sign and date the application, all required ownerships, or all owners of the business, of the project. So you need to give clarity as far as what's needed to take that next step.
Okay, all right. So you started telling them what we think they could qualify for based on their feedback. You told them what we're going to need from them in order to move forward. And then the last step is you just give them money, right?
Well, yeah, definitely. And then really important, make sure they understand that you're emailing them the list of things that they need to provide. And then confirm that, make sure it may go to your spam folder, so check your spam.
Right, because you're spamming everybody all the time, right?
Right.
All right, so, and then you ask for some sort of a commitment?
This is last step, step 10. So you want to make sure you recap the goal of how you're going to help them. Set the right expectations as far as time frame, ETA. So make sure, hey, if you get these documents back to me within 24 to 40 hours, we'll have some input for you. So, and then set the right expectations as far as commitment. We're going to be committed to helping you. I'm doing that right now. So hopefully I can get you pre-approved. You'll be moving forward. Would that be correct? So, and then this kind of comes in to conclude with a story. This is what you were talking about before. So maybe if you're speaking to someone who's a real estate investor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, mention a past client that you helped out, maybe either a real estate investor or someone in that same region of the country. So build a common denominator between them as a possible client with a past client.
Right. I love bringing up stories about, oh, I had someone in a similar situation to you. We got them $100,000 funding in a week. I like to give positive examples so that they can start to visualize themselves succeeding.
Right.
All right, so summary. Darren, if you wouldn't mind pulling up just the whole list of 1 through 10. I just want to rocket through the list real quick so everybody can hear it. It might take a second for us to get this up. But just to go through it real quick. The 10 phases of the initial consult. First is the greeting. Tell them who they are. Then tell them how we know who they are and who we are. Confirm, is it a good time for you to talk? Then ask about the scenario. Let them start to tell you their scenario, but try to keep it brief. Start doing follow-up questions where you get into specifics, and that's going to take you down either business questions or real estate specific questions. These are specific questions that we ask to start to categorize them in where we think they could fall. After you do that, you go into personal questions. Is your credit good, bad, what's holding you back? Then you'll start setting the tone for what target program we think they're going to qualify for. You'll let them know what docs they need to submit in order to get a full offer. And then you just kind of float that trial balloon on, if I can get this for you, this is something that you're going to want, right? You want to get them to verbally commit that we're on the same path, because if they don't want it no matter what, there's no reason to even waste their time submitting or for us to review it. Is that a good run through?
That's about it. Yep. So at the end of the day, the summary of this would be you're building credibility, you're building rapport, and then you have a full sense of what their project is all about. And this is the most important part of the entire sales process.
Okay, right. So it's this first meeting, and that's how everything starts. Are you about to put another video on? Nope. Okay. All right. That is it for the planned content. I don't know if we have comments or questions coming in if we can't see them. If you have anything, Darren, let me know. We're going to wait. No. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Trey, thank you for coming on.
And then one more thing about the initial step before you get into the 10 phases is make sure you're on time.
Make sure you're on time.
Make sure you're on time.
Oh, just like us. On time, every time.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, if you're new to the show, subscribe, and you'll get notifications about when we intend to launch the show. And that's it. Thanks, everybody, for coming. See you next week. Look forward to doing a lot more deals together. Right, Trey?
That's it. Thanks, Tim.
All right.
Tim.